Hey everyone, my name is Michelle Lee and I am from King in Seattle, Washington. And you know, we do a lot of things on social media, like a lot of you out there. We're on Facebook Live, is that okay? We use Facebook, YouTube. They should be joining us live on YouTube.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Instagram, Twitter.
Good morning everyone, I'm Alex Rozier.
And we also use things like Megaphone, if you're familiar with that.
You guys are split, 59 on my side, 41 on Joyce's side.
Or Tagboard.
But it's social media where we've really seen people responding, and that's how they've been helping King 5 out, showing what they've seen.
And we create a lot of digital-only or in-depth digital stories.
You say you might be pregnant.
So we have invested in this really big thing called the TriCaster, which you can see kind of all around me here. This will let you punch multiple remotes and sources. So let me show you how we can do that. So if I wanted to punch up something on YouTube, I could do that right now. So you could see the Seattle Pride Parade, which we live streamed, by the way, on YouTube, and you can make it full screen right there. Or I could punch up, you know, a live look at SeaTac or a live look at the city of Seattle. These are all things that we can punch up. If there's a reporter that we want to do a talkback with, or maybe have a Skype interview, we can also do that as well. So we want to give people an update on how that's progressing as well.
Can you see?
Even though we've invested in all this technology, the real question is, what does social media do for you? Does it sound like a lot of noise in your feed? Is your feed full of junk? And are your news organizations just adding to it? I mean, those are real serious questions. We're doing this 360 view of this room right now, so everyone at home can get a glimpse of what this room is like. We all use social media. We all think we're doing a great job, but are you just broadcasting on multiple platforms, or are you really engaging the audience and taking them through an experience? Oh, snow in Mill Creek, says Joanne. As you know, it's a lot more work to build this social experience for our viewers alongside television, or sometimes doing it when we're not available on television. I want to show you some of the images that some of you have sent in to us because you are sitting in that mess right now. And so now I'm going to show you some examples of how we do it on our revamped King 5 mornings.
Pulling into Tacoma on the new 6 a.m. train. Jim, what do you think?
Smooth ride.
Smooth ride? We're almost here.
A mass casualty scene that continues to unfold near Olympia. A new Amtrak train, brand new on its maiden voyage. It derails, crashing onto I-5 during the height of the morning commute.
Now, a little more than 24 hours later, Rudy is sitting right next to me here at a hospital bed in Olympia, and first and foremost, I am so thankful that you are doing okay, Rudy. We thought about you from the minute it happened, having just talked to you. Tell our viewers how you're doing.
I'm doing, under the circumstances, very well.
DuPont is a city not far from this scene, and our Michelle Lee is standing by there. This is where families are being reunited. Michelle?
That's the idea here. That's right. I want to show you. This is what we pulled up to probably about a half hour ago. The buses started to pull in. I think this may have been like the second wave of buses. I did not see a lot of people come out of those buses at the time. What I have seen is a lot of volunteers bringing food and water.
I thought, we derailed. We derailed. We came off the rails, I could tell.
You knew right away. Is it okay if I stay here with you for a minute?
It
I don't
is.
want to be.
Do you have a phone on you?
I do.
Can I use it?
Yes.
The traffic's really terrible,
Yeah,
right?
it's bad.
We've been it together.
You were on
so.
it together?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh.
We've never met before, but the first thing that happened was this guy gave me a hug. And I'll tell you, you need a hug.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I know we have viewers on Facebook, and my name's Michelle Lee. I'm with King 5 in Seattle, and we just heard from a guy named Scott and also a woman named Patricia, and they wanted to talk to us to let us know their story. And Patricia, if you were watching earlier, she has injuries to her mouth, which is very apparent. But she's okay. She used my phone to call her brother, so she's going to go back to Seattle, I think, on a bus, headed back to King Station, where it started for them this morning. And we're going to do, we've been in live coverage, and we're going to do we're probably going to stay on Facebook for a little bit so you guys can see what we're doing. And then we'll probably end soon. So anyway, okay. Like Patricia, she didn't have her cell phone, so she's been, using other people's cell phones to try to get in touch with her brother. So we're seeing real life trauma here. I think a lot of people who have been impacted don't really, can't really put it into words. We've seen a lot of people in shock. Patricia was certainly in shock.
It's like stuff you see in movies. It's not stuff that happens to people you know.
And our crew was there, they got off in Tacoma, so it's really...
Oh, you were on the train?
We weren't, but our...
Your crew was on the train?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
we
gosh.
were just celebrating.
See, that's another weird thing.
Yeah.
You just don't know why you were in that car, you got off in Tacoma. It's so random. The people have been, everybody's been so nice. Yeah. All the reporters, my new best friend.
You can go. I don't want to keep you.
I'm not really sure yet, but
okay.
I gotta make sure. She's my responsibility.
Yeah. Thank you. We're going to be live on king5.com. Also, if you have the app, then you can see our wall-to-wall coverage on this, and we'll probably hit again. But thank you very much for watching, and appreciate it, and hope you're safe. Michelle Lee here, coming to you from the King 5 newsroom. We have some breaking news to report this morning. It is a little confusing, but the bottom line here is that I-5 is shut down in both directions at Northeast 130th Street. I know a lot of you might be in traffic right now, sitting idle and wondering what the heck happened here. So if you have a chance, we usually don't say get on your phone, but if you're not moving, then that's a different story. I do want to address some of the questions that we are seeing on Facebook. A lot of people want to know where this is. Again, this is just North Seattle. This is in kind of like in the Bitter Lake neighborhood, and I'll pull up a map in just a second here. But we also know that about 2,100 people are without power right now in that area. And I want to show you some of the images that some of you have sent in to us because you are sitting in that mess right now. This is from our viewer Lisa. And she sent this picture in, so you can see she's right behind the power lines there. This is why I say there's a little confusion out there, because a car also flipped on I-5, and Lisa, the person who sent us this picture in, she was kind of under the assumption that maybe this car flipped because of the power lines. Okay, and Karen, our assignment editor, is telling us we have no estimated time of an opening.
Yeah,
we're scouring everything that we can to try to find information. I do have a new pick.
Okay.
This is out 2 minutes ago. Can you hit input 3?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Sevgi, we're going to check those photos out in just a second here. This is from Trooper Rick Johnson. This was tweeted 2 minutes ago. So this is a picture of vehicles trapped in the hot zone. Once power is cut, Seattle Fire will access people in their cars with minor injuries.
Wow.
Please have patience. So this kind of makes the situation a little bit more complex. Trooper Johnson said that it was a complex scene.
Yeah.
Krista, it just looks like we're seeing a little bit of dirt and debris there. Actually, if you look to the right, you can see a steady stream coming down. You can see the water coming down the hill over there. Okay, sorry, we're on Facebook Live. Is that okay?
Yeah,
just because a lot of people want to know what the situation was.
Probably 5:25, and I saw initially some of those cars. I just saw headlights kind of going every which way.
Yeah, Wesley says that doesn't look much like a landslide, maybe a wheelbarrow full of rock and mud. We were a little bit nervous because we heard 13 cars were disabled. Yeah, Shannon, for those of you sitting and waiting, DOT is waiting for daylight to assess the situation. All right, there's the wind, guys. How are you doing?
All right.
A lot of animals here, a lot of pets, a lot of people separated from their family, a lot of little kids. We have seen this parking lot fill up in the last 30 minutes. Yvonne, yes, people are allowed to bring their pets, but they need to be kenneled if at all possible.
You guys stay safe down there, and you guys do an awesome job down there.
Aw, thanks, Krista. Well, if you are in Houston right now, everything is a challenge, whether that is getting gas, getting groceries, or being a journalist. So today we are finding out what it takes to channel the Texas spirit.
It gave me goosebumps when we turned the corner and they were all standing out there waving.
It's not enough just to have school spirit. In Texas, you must carry the weight of the state.
As you know, everything's big in Texas, so our spirit's big as well.
And it's that spirit at Kid Climb that's teaching students peaks and valleys, highs and lows.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of our families have been affected.
Well, the response to sexual harassment claims against Hollywood movie mogul has led to millions of women posting the simple yet powerful phrase, "Me too." One of the biggest frustrations surrounding the Weinstein scandal is that no one spoke up for decades. It was just swept under the carpet, but not anymore. Sexual harassment and assault are not easy topics to talk about, and the story I'm about to tell you may not be something you want your children in the room for. Now, as a journalist, I've covered many stories about sexual assault, but there's one I will never forget. I couldn't forget it if I tried. It's a story about a girl who I believe is nothing short of inspirational. At just 4 years old, her father died and she was sent to stay with her aunt and uncle. She remembers being excited to get on a plane and spend the summer in Colorado playing with her cousins. She really looked up to those two older boys. She couldn't wait for the fun they would have. But there was nothing fun for her in the basement of their house. You see, that's where her 16-year-old cousin first took her to touch her. He made her do things in exchange for candy he kept high on a shelf that she was too little to reach. She doesn't remember how many times it happened, but to this day, her stomach turns when she smells a musty room. When she finally returned home to her mother at the end of the summer, she stayed silent, obeying her promise to tell no one. Luckily, it wasn't long before her cousin confessed. He came forward later that year and told his family what he had done to her and other children. But what the girl didn't know at the time was that she was not alone in this life. Her mother was abused too, and her grandmother before that. You see, in her family, sexual abuse was an epidemic, a culture where young women, children, were preyed upon. It happened at a time in society when families just swept the ugly stuff under the rug, each victim believing that they must have done something wrong, and therefore it could only happen to them. So it continued on for generations. The effects of abuse manifested in many forms for each woman: depression, sexual promiscuity, drug abuse, and the inability to communicate with others. But this is a story of inspiration. And here's why this woman inspires me. She ultimately refused to let her past define her. The woman I know still struggles with confidence, panic, and sadness. But today, she refuses to stay silent. Every time I see her, I try to build her up. I tell her she's smart and worthy and wonderful. And then I walk away from the mirror and I start my day. You see, the girl I'm talking about is me. This is the first time I've ever told my story on television. In fact, it was just a few weeks ago that I told the story publicly for the first time to a gathering of abuse survivors. So why now? Because I think it's time to wipe away the glossy exterior. Anyone can be affected by sexual abuse. Even the lady who brings you the news and wishes you good morning with a smile on her face. The need for healing continues years and years after the abuse has happened. If it weren't for my mother and my grandmother who built me up, my husband and my family who love me, and my therapist who helped me face my trauma and move forward with my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. What happened to me was awful, but most importantly, it does not define who I am, and it has taught me that no one can take away the essential part of myself. It has made me not just a survivor, but a fighter. We can all keep fighting against sexual harassment and abuse, whether it's a simple post with 2 powerful words or by speaking publicly. Please don't be afraid to talk about it. Let's shine a bright light on all the dark and musty basements. Let's let the ones who suffered know that they are not alone, and that while much has been lost, pride, strength, and soul have not been taken. You can help by speaking out, by helping others find their voice. Thank you so much for letting me take down the veil and share my story. Now I want to hear your story. We're streaming this on Facebook now, and you can post a message there or just email me at webseattle@king5.com. We really want to hear your story as well.
So that's a loaded syringe with heroin. You probably walked up on it on a kid on the ground. You say you might be pregnant.
I'll give you my card too.
actually kind of anxious for this one. We had a story on the air about how Everett police basically respond to a heroin overdose every single day. And so I called police about it, and they told me to come along with them. So that's where I'm going. You can see why I'm a little anxious. I have no idea what I'm about to see. I'm Jake Wittenberg. Nice to meet you, Caitlin. Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Nice to meet you. Just in case.
Yeah, this is the newer kit as well here. So everything is pre-set up, so it's easy to use. Insert this in the nostril, and then you just compress that, and it's quick and easy. If we notice those signs of intoxication or overdose, that's when we can use the Narcan. The cost of heroin is so inexpensive now. It's easy to obtain, it's easy to get high.
They don't really feel the effects of the high anymore. It just keeps them from not getting sick.
Yeah.
We're pulling up behind the men's rescue mission in Everett. There's a bridge here just off the interstate. It looks like we're gonna check in on some people that they know by name.
Usually there's a large group of people that kind of hang out in the area.
Daily, this is one of our stops. That's Dominic down there, isn't it? Okay.
I let Officer Davis go first. It's like a couple people are probably dope sick and needing their fix for the day, but it's early still, so.
So Officer Davis is checking on people that he knows. Cops just can't arrest their way out of the heroin problem, so they're trying to meet people, get to know them, and more or less convince them that they need to get help somewhere else other than under this bridge.
Usually just, reintroduce myself, remind them I'm here if you need anything. They know how to get a hold of us. They know what services are available. There's some new faces down here too, which is always interesting to see.
Why do you have to be out here?
We're homeless at the moment. My husband's waiting for his housing voucher to come through, and we have no other alternative.
What do you think when the police show up like this and do these checks?
I think it's fine. They're just checking in for our safety and checking on some of the regulars to see if they're okay. And I have no problem with it.
Is heroin a problem on the streets?
Yeah, a big problem. It's taken over the last couple of years. It's really taken over. I've lost a lot of friends in the last few years because of it.
I purchased a hotel room for a client because he's going to inpatient treatment. I just called the hotel and they say he's not in the room, but I know he's in the room, so it's super frustrating. A success can be a client showing up to an appointment or them agreeing to go to DOL with us and get their ID. One of those individuals who we have known for a long, long time, he was in jail for a little while and got sober, decided he's ready to change. So right now he's in a hotel waiting for his bed date and treatment. So he's doing super well, and it's so exciting because he calls us and we can have a totally normal conversation with him. And it's so new because normally our conversations with him, he's super high on meth. Now he can totally tell us about his life and about his family and what he wants to do when he gets out of treatment, and it's just super cool to see who he really is as a person.
We'll be out 11611 wooded area to the west and north.
We're at a camp now where apparently there's 11 tents or so. They're gonna do a check on some of the people that now live here. Little trails everywhere that lead to different campsites and trash all along the way. You really gotta watch your step through here.
Please. Anyone in here? You'll see them lock them up when they're best they can when they're ready. Who else is with you there? Amanda. Okay, why don't you guys come out to the door here where I can see you.
Let's get packed up to get out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
Already almost all packed up.
Okay. You guys remember talking with the officers last week?
It's almost packed up.
Okay.
Okay. That's all.
Yep. Could you just turn around so I can see you? Just see your hands. That's all I care about. Yep. Thank you. Anyone else? No. I don't see anyone else in there. No one hiding under the covers. Do me a favor. Let's go ahead and have a seat here, guys, just so I can keep track of everybody.
So that's a loaded syringe with heroin that you probably walked up on. And then inside. And then usually the kit's here. There's not a kit on the ground.
We'll get a sharps container and take care of all that, right, and put it away.
That's pretty common.
Yeah. Unfortunately. What do these signs say around here?
No trespassing.
Right.
That's what they said they had to go.
I'm part of our community outreach enforcement team. Have you guys talked with any of our social workers before?
And I had an appointment for assessment and everything, but I was in jail for that, and they didn't come see me in jail.
Obviously, trespassing is trespassing, right? So that's we can catch a citation or make an arrest on that. But we also want to see what we can do to help you guys, get you guys through detox treatment, get you on a housing list, medical treatment, mental health, all of that stuff. Is anyone interested in that?
Treatment, housing.
Yeah.
So Caitlin's taken down some of their contact info and going to try to stay in touch with them. But there have been problems, it sounds like, in the past with them following up. So we'll see what happens now. Work in progress. Sounds like some of them are in their 20s and have no place else to go. At least that's what they say.
You need to follow up with me, and then I will work on stuff. People tell me all the time that they want stuff, and then I work on it, and then they bail on me. So you guys have to try, show me that you're interested first, okay?
You say you might be pregnant.
I'll give you my card too.
The cops come and they don't arrest him.
I was at first. I've only been on this for like a month and a half.
You guys come back out.
Are you going to take advantage of the help? It's probably really hard to take advantage of it, I bet. Giving your phone number.
Definitely call me, okay?
It's not as easy as they make it seem.
Because you gotta be on the waiting list, and I was supposed to be on a waiting list, and supposed to be doing all that, everything like that, and then I call, and like they never even had my information. I get out of jail, and I called like when I was supposed to call or whatever, like within like 72 hours of me getting out of jail or whatever.
You feel like they're going to actually follow up?
She's pregnant. She is working on, getting clean and getting her life together so she can parent. So, come across a lot of females who are pregnant out here, and makes things different for them.
At what point do you say these people are not going to get services? It's hopeless.
I don't think it's ever hopeless. People can be homeless for years, addicted for years, and willing to change. It's always just a work in progress.
Do I put my head back?
Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Won't go to bed till I'm legally wed. Oh, whoa, I can't. I'm Sandra D.
Who read the book? Did you guys read The Glass Castle? Do you think he thought he was doing right by them?
Oh, Kay says he needed to believe that he had all the answers for his family. And Lisa says he was trying to convince himself he was a good dad.
Yeah. But I think, he had to know, just
the kids were raising themselves, though. What did you guys think was the best scene? Anyone want to answer that question?
Alex Rosier just joined.
Alex, hi. Oh, good.
I've got you on my phone, and then I also have my desktop. I'm sitting on the floor.
Oh, okay. I have my desktop, but I set everything up kind of wrong.
I mean, my laptop. Oh, here's what Mary says. Mary says, unforgettable, her experience, I'm sorry, my voice, her experience with her fiance's parents when she finally told the truth about her parents.
So, is social media perfect? Absolutely not, but we do strive every day to make it a big part of our stories.
Gotta give shout out to all my Twitter followers. Jason wants to know if we can drink pizza sauce out of this, the Caputo cup. I don't know, I'll have to ask. Doubt it.
To start there, to make it relevant, to keep it relevant, dig deeper, and also to pull in our viewers more than we ever have before.
Hi, it's Michelle Lee and Alex Rosier.
Yes.
We have had a very busy morning here in the King 5 newsroom, and we are going to show you, we're going to go back and forth from Sky King. We're going to show you DOT cameras. You've already been out to the park this morning, so we want to give people an update on how that's progressing as well.
And you see here in the aerial view right now, it just continues to grow by the minute. And they have a march planned beginning at 11 this morning. And it's going to go 3 miles from Judkins Park in South Seattle to eventually end up at the Seattle Center.
Melissa says that is amazing. If I was not pregnant, I would be there right now.
Driving is going to be a problem in downtown Seattle, so be mindful of that.
I do want to show you, by the way, we do know that there are more transit buses helping people get to that area. Did you see that when you were out there this morning?
I really didn't, but I was kind of in the middle of that mix, right in the heart of the crowd while we were there. But there were a variety of different ways of transportation that were bringing people there. You're going through some of these pictures here.
Yeah, I'm going through some of these. Ryan Takeo was on a bus, and I'm not sure exactly which bus he was on. I kind of thought it was Bellevue.
He came from the east side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not certain what specific town, but the story here is really interesting, actually. He's with a group. They are sending 800 people to this march today, and you're looking at video from the packed bus right now. But it was a group that started with 4 women, and by the end, it's now 800 people who are on their way to the march today. That again begins somewhere around the 11 o'clock hour here, following a rally that is actually ongoing right now.
Sarah says, I have friends who tried to catch that march bus, or tried to catch the march buses. They are all full. Sarah, where are you and where are your friends trying to catch a bus from? And Melissa wants to know if this will affect traffic on I-5. Here's a live look at least I-9. Is that I-90?
It's I-90, Rainier Avenue exit. And if you look at the far right lane there, that's where you're seeing the Rainier exit. So kind of the center, kind of toward the right-hand side of the screen is where the exit you can see is backed up. We have several crews on the ground. I believe we already are starting to see some live pictures from the ground right now.
This is all of our mothers and my grandma. And she's kind of the matriarch of our family. And
it's my bucket list because I'm on hospice.
Right.
And so I asked them, please let me live until this March, because it was so important to me, for me to model what I feel is right for my family. Can't ask more than that. I made it, and it's a beautiful day, and I praise God, and hopefully the nation will make an impact, so we will be heard.
Explaining the pink, and then also we have people just recognizing that there are a lot of families and men there, so this is not just for women.
You're seeing people obviously with the pink, as they're called, pussy hats, and a lot of them are actually, it looks like they've been purchased, but a lot of them are handmade. The story is a family of 3 right here wearing their hats. And you'll see a lot of these hats being worn today. So that's what the hat comment was about.
Kanani says, spew love, not hate, love, 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 equality, love, inclusiveness. More Seattle coverage, says Steve. You are taking a live look right now at the Seattle coverage. We have been popping back and forth from Bellingham to Olympia. And you know what? The organizers did not release this route until just a few days ago because they were a little concerned about safety. So this goes from Judkins Park. You can see they're on the move. I can't really tell where they are, but they were going to eventually get on 4th. And then there are 3 entry points from there, and ultimately they're going to end at the Seattle Center.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be quite a workout for some folks, more than 3 miles when it is all said and done, and they are on their way now.
And we do have multiple streams going on across all of our platforms. We've got another stream coming in from Washington, D.C. that is also being streamed on Facebook. I want to just show you this look. This is from Olympia. We just talked to Alyssa Hahn moments ago, and she had some really interesting things to say about what's going on in Olympia.
Yeah, it was amazing to hear that story of the 87-year-old woman, terminal ovarian cancer, out there in a wheelchair today, alongside her grandson who is pushing her, and several other members of her family who spoke of why she wanted to just be out there for this effort that's taking place that you're looking at right now. Glenn, tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
So right now we are across from Seattle City Hall. We are at 4th and James, and when Joseph, you can see all the people here are gathering along. So not only do you have the march.
We would love to have you and join us on the walk. First, what we're going to do is have the indigenous people come through, and then slowly merge in. Thank you, Seattle.
So basically what you just heard from one of the leaders of the march here is asking all these people you are seeing along the march route to join in as the main body of the march actually goes through.